Hi, my name is Mrs. Bloom. Thank you so much for inviting me into your home today. I really do appreciate it. Now, as one of the realm's head census takers, it's sort of my job to just go to a variety of different houses within the area to ask some basic questions. Some of it will be personal information, nothing too personal, of course. And what we do is we collect all this information and we put it into our data pools, and we're able to formulate different averages and statistics, things like that. Now, are you all right with that? Oh, good. Now, is it all right if we have a seat here? Oh, terrific. So now, have you ever been involved in a census before? I mean, directly? Okay, so you've just filled out forms and such before? Okay, well that's good. We really appreciate that. These questions are going to be a bit more in-depth than what you typically find on forms. We've selected about 100 residents of the realm to do this. Yeah, exactly. No, and it's nothing to be nervous about at all. And in fact, as a gift, just as a way to say thank you to all of the participants this year, we're going to be giving you a choice between either a gift certificate to a cafe here in town, or a spa gift certificate, so you can choose which one you like. Yeah. I know, me personally, I'd go for the spa, but that's just me. So, let's just get started. Are there any questions that I can answer for you before we do begin? No? Okay, well if there are, just let me know. Okay. All right, so can I just get your full name, please? Terrific. And how many people are living in the household with you? Okay. And what are their ages? And yourself? Okay. Terrific. So now, what is your heritage, and then what is the heritage of your significant other? Okay. So fairy and elf. Okay. I don't see that too often. No, it's I actually spoke with a couple the other day who were a dwarf and a gnome, and they were lovely, yes. But every now and again you'll see a pairing that is extraordinary, and I think it's so it's terrific actually, because your child gets, or your children are exposed to, two different cultures in the same home, which is terrific. And yeah, they're much more tolerant of other races and things like that. Yeah. The only thing that I've seen over my years that was a bit worrisome was there was a couple who, it was an orc, and I believe it was a dwarf, and both of those races tend to get a bit hot-tempered at times. So it's all throughout. Well, I'm not supposed to actually divulge this, but I'm not mentioning their names or anything, and it was many moons ago, and it was in actually a different realm, but they throughout the entire census session, while I was taking their information, they were bickering the entire time, and in fact, at one point, it broke out into an all-out brawl. So it was quite interesting. Yeah. After that, I have to carry my magic wand with me. I learned my lesson. Okay. And so you have 2 children. Okay. And what languages are spoken in the home? Fairy and Elvish, but primarily Elvish? Okay. I think they're both such beautiful languages, yeah. Okay. Doing great so far. Thanks again. So, what are the occupations that each of you hold? All right. So he's an archer. Okay. And you're oh. So you're a water fairy then. Oh, that's lovely. Yes. I've heard it can be a very demanding career, though. Yes. Yeah, I can imagine. Well, yeah, especially with the droughts that have been going on, I would assume that long work hours involved, right? Okay. And how many gold coins do you each typically make on average per year? Income, household income. All right, great. You know what? When I ask these more personal questions, especially financial ones, you can just give me a ballpark estimate. Yeah, it's just for the statistics that we're going to be putting together. Okay. And do you both have health insurance with your professions? Okay. Yeah, we like to try to gauge how many of our citizens are covered under our health insurance policies, things like that. Yeah, well, we're actually debating about whether we want to start a kind of a realm subsidized health coverage. Yeah, so that's in the works. We don't quite know if that's going to make it through the board, though. Some members of the board are a little bit hesitant about it, so. Okay. Jotting down notes here. Plenty of notes. All right. Now, how much, just to get a fairy dust per capita kind of estimate, how much fairy dust do you have in the home at this moment in time? Just a roundabout estimate, of course. Okay. And how much do you have in the bank? Do you know? Okay. It's always good to have a little fairy dust tucked away, huh? Well, there was the shortage of 86, and that was quite scary, wasn't it? So ever since then, we've been running several different promotional campaigns trying to get people to, put some aside every now and again, and just, in the event of a rainy day. Now, what is your educational background? Okay. Yes, I wasn't quite sure what level of training was involved for Water Fairy. Okay, so it's an apprenticeship, internship. Wow, that's quite involved. That's interesting. So there's an academy then. Oh. Well, you learn something new every day, don't you? So he was in the Legion. Okay. Well, yeah, being an archer, he would probably have to have some sort of military training, I'm assuming. Okay. Was he a veteran? Oh, right. I'll put all this down. Okay. Now, the following questions I'm going to be asking you are all going to be kind of having to do with the policies that that are currently on up for debate. Yeah. So these will be things that might be on the voting ballot come next October. So we just want to get a feel for what people might like to see and kind of just the general consensus on people's feelings and thoughts on these particular topics. All right. Now, this particular aspect of the census, it's a separate sheet, and I will not be putting your name on it. It's completely anonymous. So please feel free to share your honest opinion with me about it, and it will not be linked to your name whatsoever. So you can be completely truthful, and don't feel like you're being judged or anything. These are just, as I said, your opinions. So. Okay. All right. So, now some of these have to do with our realm directly, and others have to do with surrounding realms. Because, as you know, when we do vote, we vote on the entire Fairy Tale Kingdom. So, yeah, which covers Wonderland, Neverland, Enchanted Forest, us, of course, and I know I'm forgetting one. Well, occasionally it will cover the Hogsmeade area. Yeah, and then, of course, Oz. And let me see, there's a couple other regions that sometimes are included in that depending upon the policies they're trying to pass. Okay. So, how do you feel about flying monkey citizenship? Okay. Yeah, just be as detailed with your responses as you feel comfortable. Yeah. Yes or no will suffice, or if you want to give me some, more feedback on it or some more of your thoughts on it, that's great. Yeah. All right. Now, as you know, it's been in the news quite a bit. They're thinking about imposing a tax on butterbeer. So, what are your thoughts on that? Okay. Well, I don't partake of it much myself, but some people are a bit up in arms about the potential of a tax hike, so. Okay. Now, across all the realms, they're thinking about proposing a villain rehabilitation program where they'll be released back into society once they've met several different criteria methods. Once they've met several different standards. And they'll essentially be released kind of on a work release program, so they'll be in the local community but closely guarded at all times. How do you feel about that? All right. Now, another issue that's kind of across all of the realms is the speed limit that they're thinking about kind of applying to all flying creatures. So that would cover unicorns, dragons, even magic carpets. So, how do you feel about that? All right. Also, there is a little bit of talk going on right now about raising the age for Witch's Brew. Yeah, the age kind of restrictions that we have on it right now. It's 25, I believe. Yes. It's been so long since I've been in that age range, so. But they want to raise it to 105. The reasoning behind that being that Witch's Brew should be enjoyed by those with more magical experience, and you know, far too often you see acts of vandalism being done, or kind of more mischievous acts being carried out upon the people of the Enchanted Forest and surrounding realms by witches and warlocks who may be underage, or even just right at the age cap for imbibing Witch's Brew, and they've just had one cauldron full too many, and things go haywire. So, yeah, exactly. Alright, and there's also a little bit of a... now this policy is going to go through on the next ballot, but we just wanted to get people's feedback on it. There's going to be new licensure for owning a mythical creature that is above the 5 danger level. Yeah, so that would be things like, well, most notably dragons, those with in the fire-breathing class. So, do you have any feelings about that? Any thoughts or ideas you'd like to share with me? And do you have any mythical creatures here in the home? Okay. Alright, great. So the unicorn that you do have, is it in a stable out back, or do you have it housed somewhere else? Okay. And also, I forgot to ask earlier, and I'll put this back in actually your personal notes here. How many horse and carriages do you have here in the home? Okay, so one horse and carriage, and then a horse that is primarily used for transportation purposes. Okay. Great. Perfect. Wonderful. All right. I think that's it. Yes. Oh, one more thing. There was one thing that was just added to the docket late last week. They are thinking about opening a beanstalk transportation system. Yeah, it would basically go to the sky realms, various levels of it. Would you, if they did do that, would you be interested in ever traveling to the different sky realms, and for vacation purposes, things like that? And how often do you think you would travel there if you are interested in that sort of thing? All right. Well, yeah, ever since we started the kind of the relations between us and the giant race, those kind of opportunities have presented themselves. You know, we're kind of trading more with them. As you know, we get all of our golden eggs from them now, which provide fuel for many of our resources. So, yeah. Okay, terrific. That's it. Thank you so very much for your time. It's been a pleasure meeting with you. And, yeah, I'll be sending you that certificate. Actually, when I get back to the office, I'll process it, so you'll get it in the next day or two. Okay? Fantastic. All right, I'll show myself out, and you have a wonderful day.